Stop scrolling. I'm about to show you something that's going to make you physically angry. And I need you to pay attention because this affects your wallet right now. 3 weeks ago, BYD filed case number 26-00847 at the U.S. Court of International Trade. If they win this lawsuit, and legal experts are saying there's a real shot, the entire American car market gets flipped upside down within 6 months. But here's what's going to blow your mind. The reason you can't buy a $9,000 Chinese EV has nothing to do with safety or national security. American automakers just admitted they burned $50 billion trying to compete and lost. I've got the court documents. I've got leaked internal memos. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which Chinese car is causing this panic, why it costs 1/5 of what you're paying, and I'm going to reveal the Chinese EV that's already legally on American roads that you can go buy this weekend. Comment, "I'm watching" right now if you're ready for this, because we're about to expose the biggest automotive cover-up in history. All right, so picture this. Right now, this exact second while you're watching, someone in Shanghai just walked out of a BYD dealership with a brand new electric car. Purchase price? $9,697. Not a lease, bought it outright. You know what you just paid for a base Tesla Model 3? $48,300. Quick math check in the comments. How many times more is that? If you said 5, you're absolutely right. You're paying 5 times more for essentially the same vehicle, and I'm about to prove it with numbers that are going to make your blood boil. The BYD Seagull, 30 kilowatt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery. Hold up, before you click away thinking this is some cheap Chinese junk, that's the exact same battery chemistry Tesla is switching all their cars to, because it lasts twice as long and doesn't explode into flames. 252 miles of real-world range. Comment below if that's more range than your current car gets. 74 horsepower motor hitting 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds. For everyone saying, "That's slow," that's actually quicker than a brand new $30,000 Toyota Corolla. Let that sink in. 10-inch rotating touchscreen. Full LED matrix headlights that automatically adjust so you don't blind other drivers. And here's where you should get mad. The battery thermal management system keeps this thing running at 95% efficiency when it's minus 20 degrees outside. You know what happens to your buddy's Tesla in a Chicago winter? Loses 40% of its range, and he's stranded. This $10,000 Chinese hatchback is out-engineering $50,000 American EVs in extreme cold. Drop a fire emoji if that's insane. Now pause. You're probably thinking, okay, cool, one random cheap car. Dead wrong. And this is where it gets absolutely wild. BYD just became the #1 EV seller on planet Earth. Not number 2, number 1. They sold 2.26 million battery electric vehicles in 2025 and dethroned Tesla. Comment, "No way," if you've never even heard of BYD before this video. And here's the stat that should be breaking news everywhere, but mainstream media won't touch it. January 2026, BYD sold 210,000 new energy vehicles worldwide. Tesla's U.S. sales that same month, 40,000, down 17% year over year. Type RIP Tesla in the comments if you see where this is going. But wait, it gets crazier. Ford's electric lineup is hemorrhaging cash. GM keeps delaying their electric trucks again and again. And check this number. Chinese car brands now manufacture 27.4% of all vehicles on Earth. Not just electric, everything. Every 4th car built globally is Chinese. They went from copying Honda Civics to controlling a quarter of world production in 10 years. Meanwhile, Detroit is on fire. General Motors and Ford have written down $27 billion in failed EV bets. Stellantis, that's Jeep and Ram, took a $26 billion loss. Add it up, That's over $50 billion admitted publicly because American automakers can't compete. Comment 50 billion if that number is absolutely insane to you. And here's where your mind is about to explode. You know Xiaomi, the company that makes budget smartphones? 18 months ago, they decided to build a car, had zero automotive experience. The entire car industry laughed them out of the room. The Xiaomi SU7 sold 258,000 units in 2025. That crushed Tesla's Model 3 in China. A phone company beat Tesla. Comment phone company if that's the most disrespectful thing you've ever heard. The SU7 Max does 0 to 60 in 2.78 seconds. You know what else does that? A Porsche Taycan Turbo S that costs $170,000. The Xiaomi starts at 30 grand. How is a phone company embarrassing Porsche? Drop Porsche in shambles if you're shook. Here's how, and this is going to change how you think about manufacturing forever. While Ford is welding together hundreds of separate metal parts over 5 days like it's 1955, Xiaomi invented something called Gigacasting. They took 72 individual parts and replaced them with one single aluminum piece. One piece. That eliminated 840 weld points. Comment the number 840 if you understand that's 840 potential failure points that just disappeared. Production time cut in half. The car weighs 17% less, so it handles like a sports car. And the range goes up. Manufacturing cost per vehicle dropped 30%. And here's the speed that should terrify Detroit. Ford needs 60 months. That's 5 full years to go from concept to your driveway. Chinese brands do it in 24 months. By the time Ford launches one new model, Chinese companies have iterated through 2 complete generations. Comment, "It's over," if you realize Detroit can't survive this. And you want to know the exact moment American automotive dominance died? Volkswagen, the company from Germany that literally invented the modern car industry, moved their entire EV development headquarters to China. Not a satellite office, their main center. German engineering admitted defeat. Let me see Germany lost in the comments if that's crazy to you. Now, here's where you should genuinely get angry at how much you've been overcharged. BYD's battery costs $80 per kilowatt hour to manufacture. Tesla's costs $123. That's a 35% cost advantage before the car even exists. But it's not just cheaper, it's better. The BYD Seal gets 354 miles of range. It has a heat pump that recycles your waste heat to keep you warm in winter without killing the battery. Regenerative braking captures 90% of your stopping energy and puts it back in the battery. It preheats the cells before you fast charge, so you get maximum speed every time. Warranty is 8 years or 120,000 miles guaranteed, 80% capacity. Tesla's warranty? 8 years, but only 100,000 miles. And now I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you question reality. Tesla buys batteries from BYD. The company America banned from selling cars here supplies the technology that powers Tesla's Americans are driving right now. Comment, "What?" if your brain just broke. Hold up, because the infrastructure gap is going to make you throw your phone. Right now, today, in 15 major Chinese cities, they have battery swap stations fully operational. You drive your EV in. A robot arm yanks out your dead battery pack and slides in a fully charged one. You drive away. Total elapsed time, 2 minutes, 47 seconds. That's faster than filling up at a gas pump. Meanwhile, you're sitting at a supercharger for 35 minutes, doom scrolling TikTok. Comment 2 minutes if that's absolutely absurd. NIO operates over 2,000 battery swap stations that work 24/7. Their ET7 with the 150 battery pack goes 621 miles on a single charge. For reference, that's driving from New York City to Detroit with enough left over to cruise around looking for parking. Comment your city-to-city equivalent if you want to see that range in your area. And these aren't concept vehicles. Real paying customers are driving these on public roads today, while Americans are arguing about charging anxiety. So here's the billion-dollar question, and I need you to answer honestly in the comments. If all this technology is real, if it's this good, if it costs this little, why is it banned in America? The government's official story is national security. They claim Chinese EVs collect your data and send it to Beijing. Your GPS location, your driving routes, your face from the interior cameras, all of it. Okay, fine, let's play that game. But riddle me this. Your iPhone was manufactured in Shenzhen. Your laptop was assembled in Shanghai. Your Ring doorbell, your Alexa, your smart TV, your fitness watch. Probably half the devices in your house were made in China, and they're sending data 24/7. But suddenly cars are the security threat? Comment makes no sense if you smell something fishy here. Let me tell you what's really happening, and this is where it gets dark. The real reason is pure economic protection. Biden slapped a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs. 100%. For everyone asking what that means, the $9,000 Seagull would cost 20 grand after tariffs, completely killing the value. And here's absolute proof this is about protecting Detroit profits, not protecting you. Canada had the exact same 100% tariff 3 months ago. They dropped it to 6%. You know what's happening in Canada right this second? Chinese EVs are flooding dealerships. Wait lists are stretching months. If this was genuinely a national security crisis, why would Canada throw the doors wide open? Comment, follow the money if you're connecting the dots. American automakers are in complete free fall. Tesla deliveries dropped 8.6% in 2025. That's their worst year in company history. Ford EV sales are cratering across every model. GM keeps pushing timelines into the future. And here's the number that proves desperation. Mercedes-Benz is offering $61,000 in discounts on their flagship EQS sedan in China just to move inventory. 61 grand. That's the entire purchase price of a loaded BMW 3 Series. When luxury brands are literally giving away luxury car money just to compete, the war is over. Drop its wraps if you agree. The Chinese car market is the most ruthless competitive environment in business history. 153 domestic brands fighting for survival. 54 making nothing but EVs. When you have that level of blood-in-the-water competition, innovation happens at a pace that gives American CEOs panic attacks. Companies that can't evolve die in literal months. And get this, even BYD, the undisputed market leader, selling more units than anyone on Earth, their market share dropped from 35% to 29%. because the competition chasing them is that savage. Comment Darwinian if you understand that's evolutionary pressure American companies haven't experienced since the 70s oil crisis. And that pressure cooker is creating technology that sounds like science fiction. Geely is finishing their first all-solid-state battery pack this year for vehicle testing. Dongfeng Motor is beginning commercial production in 2026 with a solid-state battery promising 620 miles of range. CATL has mass production scheduled for 2028. And you need to understand what solid-state actually means, because this is game over for current EVs. Lithium-ion batteries use flammable liquid to move energy. Solid-state replaces that fire hazard with solid ceramic or polymer. Energy density explodes from 250 watt-hours per kilo to over 400. That's 60% more range in the exact same physical space. Charging time collapses to under 10 minutes for full capacity, and thermal runaway fires become physically impossible. The battery cannot catch fire under any circumstance. Toyota and Honda are targeting 2028 for production. Chinese companies are already shipping semi-solid-state in customer vehicles today. And here's the number that should terrify Washington. CATL and BYD control 83% of global solid-state battery manufacturing capacity. The entire supply chain for the future of batteries is Chinese-controlled. Comment, "We lost," if you're seeing the big picture. Let me rapid-fire some specs the mainstream car media is deliberately ignoring. Xpeng P7, 11 cameras, 5 radars, 12 ultrasonic sensors, 2 LiDAR units. That's more sensor coverage than a $120,000 Tesla Model S Plaid. Computing runs on dual NVIDIA Orin chips, cranking 510 trillion calculations per second. It processes everything at 30 frames per second and can identify objects 300 meters away in pitch-black darkness. It's Level 3 autonomous on highways in China right now. Level 4 is actively beta testing with real customers. The NIO ES8 has an AI assistant called Nomi that uses facial recognition to know who you are, automatically sets your climate preferences, picks music based on reading your emotional state, and responds to natural voice commands in 17 languages. Comment your language if you want to test that. The Li Auto L9 luxury SUV has a battery plus range extender engine for 837 total miles. Second-row captain's chairs with heating, cooling, massage, and motorized leg rests. 15-inch entertainment screen for rear passengers. Built-in refrigerator. Medical-grade air purifier. Starting price in China? $51,800. Those exact features in a Cadillac Escalade in America? $92,000. Comment the price difference if that makes you mad. Here's what should be keeping American politicians awake at night, but somehow isn't. Baidu's Apollo Go robotaxi service has completed 10 million fully autonomous rides in real Chinese cities. Not controlled test tracks, not empty Arizona suburbs. We're talking absolute urban chaos. 6-lane traffic circles with electric scooters slicing through gaps. Pedestrians jaywalking between double-parked delivery trucks. Entire lanes blocked by street vendors and construction. Chinese autonomous systems are learning to navigate pandemonium that would make American self-driving cars immediately disengage and beg for human help. This is battlefield testing Detroit physically cannot replicate. Drop different level if you're seeing the gap. The economic math is brutal and simple. If Chinese EVs entered America at their actual production cost, plus normal profit margins, They would undercut equivalent American vehicles by 40 to 60% across the board. The entire franchise dealer network would economically collapse within 18 months. Hundreds of thousands of automotive jobs would evaporate. Parts suppliers would file bankruptcy in waves. The economic devastation would hollow out entire Midwest manufacturing towns. That's the real reason for the tariffs. This isn't about data security or national defense. This is about preventing total economic collapse of a foundational American industry. But here's the hard truth nobody wants to say. Blocking competition only delays the inevitable. The technology gap gets wider every single month you wait. Comment, delaying the inevitable, if you agree protectionism is just buying time. Industry analysts are projecting Chinese automakers will control 35 to 40% of global EV market share by 2030. And it's not a projection anymore. It's already happening in real time. BYD sales in Europe jumped 187% year over year. MG Motor, which is Chinese state-owned SAIC, is now a top 10 selling brand in the United Kingdom. In 2025, 54% of all new passenger vehicles sold in China had a plug, either full electric or plug-in hybrid. China is projecting complete electrification of new vehicle sales before 2035, and current adoption curves show they'll actually hit it 3 years early in 2032. BYD is publicly targeting 1.6 million export sales in 2026. They're actively constructing new manufacturing facilities in Hungary and Turkey to supply the European market, while strategically bypassing tariff restrictions through localized production. Comment your country if you want to know when Chinese EVs are coming to you. American legacy brands have maybe 36 months maximum to figure out how to compete on cost and technology before Chinese manufacturers establish permanent, dominant market positions everywhere except our artificially protected bubble. And that protection has a definite expiration date that changes with presidential administrations. Here's something that's going to make you rethink every car purchase. If you're buying an American EV today, you are paying a massive premium for restricted access to Chinese technology that got repackaged and marked up by American middlemen. Tesla sources battery cells from CATL. Ford's Mustang Mach-E uses CATL pouch cells. GM's Ultium platform depends entirely on Chinese rare earth mineral processing and cathode production. You're already buying Chinese manufacturing technology. You literally cannot avoid it. You just can't buy it directly from the source. So you're paying the markup for American companies to import components and assemble them domestically. Comment, markup scam, if that changes your perspective. The legal loophole I mentioned at the very beginning, here it is. Polestar. It's owned by Geely, the exact same Chinese conglomerate that owns Volvo and Lotus. It's built on Chinese engineering, using Chinese batteries and Chinese manufacturing processes. And it's sitting in American showrooms in your city right now, available for purchase this weekend. The invasion didn't start yesterday. It already happened years ago. Nobody noticed because the branding was European. Comment Polestar if you just learned this. So here's my final question, and I genuinely want your raw, unfiltered opinion in the comments. If Chinese EVs with demonstrably superior technology, significantly longer range, and literally half the purchase price became fully legal in America tomorrow morning, would you actually put your money down and buy one? Or would you still choose to buy American out of patriotic loyalty, even knowing you're objectively getting less vehicle for dramatically more money? Be brutally honest. This is a judgment-free zone. I'm pinning the most interesting answer. And here's exactly why you need to smash that subscribe button right this second. That lawsuit I mentioned at the start, case number 26-00847, could get a federal court ruling literally any day now. If BYD wins and the tariff structure gets ruled unconstitutional, Chinese vehicles could legally flood American markets within months. I'm tracking this case daily and monitoring the Supreme Court docket, and the instant there's any movement, I'm breaking it down in emergency coverage. Next week, I'm dropping a full investigation exposing which Chinese manufacturers are already actively sneaking into the North American market through Mexico, using USMCA trade agreement loopholes that most people don't even know exist. The automotive industry you grew up with will be completely unrecognizable by 2030. The people who understand what's coming and position themselves correctly will win. The people actively ignoring these signals will get absolutely crushed when their local dealership shuts down permanently. Don't be that person. Hit subscribe, absolutely destroy that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one, where we reveal step by step exactly how to legally acquire a Chinese EV in America right now, today.